Hi guys, so glad to have you here today. Today I'm making another recipe that comes from the stuff that I make my sourdough bread with, right? And what I'm talking about is sourdough discard. So super excited, it's gonna be my first time giving it a try. It is another recipe from my favorite Pinterest site, Little Spoon Farm. This recipe is sourdough blueberry muffins with crumble topping. So excited. Now, of course, I'm gonna make just a few changes to make it a little bit more healthier for my needs, but it's still gonna taste great. And what changes am I gonna make? Instead of using butter or melted butter, I'll be using applesauce in the muffin itself. Now, I'll still use melted butter for the crumble topping. So that's helping a little bit, right? That's what it is. Everything counts at the end of the day. And then instead of using granulated sugar, inside the muffin, I'm going to be using my monk fruit sweetener as well. Still be using the crumble granulated sugar on top. I'm going to need a 12 count muffin tin. Let's grab that. Got those. And then I'm going to need all-purpose flour. Check. 1 cup granulated monk fruit. 2 teaspoons. Baking powder. Check. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. It's right here. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Got that. Zest of 1/2 a lemon. Butter melted. Remember, we're using applesauce. Check. 2 large eggs. Check. Sourdough discard. Check. Sour cream or plain Greek yogurt. Got that. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Check. Now, for the crumb topping, I will be needing 45 grams of butter melted. Got that? Okay, just a little aside. Measure it before melting. And granulated sugar and all-purpose flour. That is going into the crumble topping. Excellent. Well, let's adios my sourdough bread that is fresh from this morning. All right, covered up the clothes. Now we're ready to get started working. So we're gonna take 45 grams of butter, 100 grams of sugar, 60 grams of flour, and we're gonna combine it with a fork and set it aside. We also need to go ahead and set our oven at 350 degrees. 45 grams of butter. I really like to go by grams. It is so much more exact when you're actually starting with a recipe. Now, as I told you in my brownie recipe, I always go exactly by the recipe the first time. See how it turned out, and then I decide how I want to tweak it. Zero that, because now we need 100 grams of sugar. And I'm actually using sugar in the raw. It's going to have a nice crumble to it. I forgot to melt the butter. Let's melt it real quick. Okay, let's try that again. So we want to take 100 grams of sugar into the 45 grams of butter. Exactly 100. So now we're going to zero that out because now we're going to add 60 grams of all-purpose flour. By the way, I use these for everything around here, right? Learned that from my grandma. And 60. There we go. Now we're just going to crumble it up with a fork. That's going to be so yummy. You see, it just made a real nice crumble. Now we want to go ahead and put our liners into our muffin tins. This isn't for you, baby. Bandit is a big fan of my cooking. Come here. There we go. Oh, look at you. Him so handsome. Yes, he is. Okay. So now we're going to set these aside. So now we're going to combine our dry ingredients in a large mixing bowl first. If you use scales, you don't have to use many measuring cups, right? So we want 240 grams of all-purpose flour. It's 217. You're going to take my word for it because you can't see here. There we go. There's 240. 1 cup granulated sugar. And remember, again, we're using the monk fruit. And that equates to 200 grams. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Level it off just like they taught me in home ec. Freaking love home ec. And then we need zest of 1/2 a lemon. This is one of my Amazon buys for Amazon Prime Day. Yay, Amazon. It smells amazing. Like, really smells good. Wants us to mix this with a fork first. And then we're going to fold in the blueberries. I love all of these cooking shows that you watch on social media, and they never make messes. I make so many messes. So many. We need 150 grams of blueberries. Now, we're just supposed to toss these so that they get coated, right? What would happen if I added a few more? Stick to the recipe. You can do it next time. All right, set aside. Okay, so in a medium mixing bowl, I'm now gonna whisk all of the wet ingredients together. Once that's done, then we're gonna pour it into the dry ingredients. Wet into dry, stir them until it's all combined. So applesauce is actually used in equal parts to butter or oil. So it called for 8 tablespoons of melted butter. So we're gonna use 8 tablespoons of applesauce. And this is unsweetened applesauce. Okay, 8 tablespoons of applesauce. 2 large eggs. 125 grams of sourdough starter, which is equal to a half cup. Perfect. 3 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. There we go. We're going to whisk this together. Okay, so now we want to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Then we're just going to stir just until combined. You don't want to overwork it. And if it's too stiff, you can add 1 to 2 tablespoons of water or milk to help thin it out if it needs it. Let's see. So we're just going to stir it till it's combined. I actually think it's kind of perfect, so I think we're good to go ahead and put it in the muffin tins and get ready to bake. Now it says to divide it equally among the tins. How are you going to do that unless you just do it like a tablespoon at a time? I don't know. Tastes good too. Clearly, I've made them a little bit bigger than what they're supposed to be because, look, I have one left over. So, okie dokie. So just before we bake, we've got to remember to put our crumble topping on. You are supposed to lightly press it on top of it, right? Let's spread it out first. I have a heavy hand and I'll end up only having 6 muffins with crumble topping. Apparently, there's a lot of crumble topping to go around, though. That's cool. It's actually much easier to do it with your fingers than it is with the spoon. Okay, so we want to press it just a little bit into the top of the batter. Comment below what your favorite sourdough discard recipe is, or if you're just brand new to this whole thing. Okay, so now these are going to go in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm going to clean up this kitchen, set that timer, and see you back in just about 30 to 35 minutes. Look at those. Oh my goodness. Okay, so these are not brownies, okay, like we made last time. So these are actually supposed to pass the toothpick test. So let's see. See if they need more time or if we're ready to go. Feels kind of dense. They look all good to me. All right, so now these have to cool for 10 minutes, and then we'll transfer them to our cooling rack. All righty. See you back in 10 minutes. Turn that oven off. There are 10, because you know where the last one's going. You ready? I am. I'm so ready. Okay, look inside there. See that steam? What? It's very soft. Let's see what it's like. Oh, it's hot. Very good. And the last little bit, you get that little lemon zest kick. I like that a lot. The crumble on the top, that's a very nice crunch to the very soft belly of the muffin. Yeah. This is a very good recipe. All right, guys. So the last test of anything I cook has got to be Michael tried it, and the gorilla is here today, so he gets to try it too. These are sourdough.
That one side looks bigger. So
Lemon blueberry. wait, let me get it on. Lemon blueberry muffins. You guys try it.
Like the whole thing, or you got half of it? How does it work?
Yeah, just eat it.
Mm-hmm. That's really good.